Stories is about selling your home and purchasing your next one. There's a lot involved in this process, so we are going to share some tips and ideas that we think will be helpful. As always, if you are thinking about buying or selling in the Northern Virginia area or are relocating in or out of this area, let us know how we can help. Now here's this week's tip.
At some point in the process of selling your current home and buying your next home, you'll probably hire a real estate agent if you don't try to sell the house on your own. That decision as to whom you hire has very big implications for the quality of the experience as well as for the end result. Now, I would like to offer 4 guidelines that will help you make an informed and excellent choice. They're common sense guidelines, but they're frequently not applied, and the results can be very negative. The first guideline is level of experience. The truth is, a lot of real estate consumers wind up working with people who are less experienced or even inexperienced real estate agents. But that doesn't have to be you. With a little bit of effort, you can find a person with a good 10 plus years of experience. Now, there's nothing magical about the number 10, and you might find some people who are highly experienced that you won't want to work with, and some people with less than 10 years of experience that would be just right for you. But we think 10 years is a good baseline. Now, experience is no guarantee of quality, but it starts to give you an indication about the level of expertise of the person that you might be working with. With experience often comes better judgment, the ability to solve and prevent problems, and real estate has a lot of complex decisions in the process of buying or selling a home, and you really need to work with someone who has a proven track record of good experience. So we think 10 years is a pretty good baseline to start out with. A second major guideline is full-time versus part-time. There are a lot of people in the real estate industry who are working part-time. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but the question that you have is whether or not you want your real estate agent to be working part-time for you, serving you and dealing with your problems after they've maybe worked 8 or 9 hours somewhere else that day. We think it's critical to work with a full-time person to be more likely to have the best result. You probably wouldn't hire a part-time dentist. You probably wouldn't bank in a bank that was considered a part-time bank. You shouldn't have to do that when it comes to your real estate agent. Another aspect of full versus part-time is the amount of business the person is doing. And our point there is that you want to seek someone who is working with real estate clients and customers on a regular basis, not an occasional basis. Not that a high-producing agent is going to be the absolute criterion for you to follow, but if a person's out there serving real estate consumers on a regular basis, they're in the trenches, they're a little bit more likely to know what's going on with the market conditions, and they're more likely to have developed the systems and processes to better serve those clients. So think about whether or not the person that you're considering is in the business full-time or part-time. A third major guideline has to do with your level of comfort and confidence in this person that you're considering working with. I'm talking about chemistry. Do you feel comfortable around this person? Are they easy to work with? Do they have good interpersonal skills? Do you feel like you have some chemistry there? You know, the real estate process has a lot of built-in stresses. And if you're going to be working with someone that you don't have a level of comfort and confidence in, could be a very long process, could be an indication that this really isn't the right person for you. No matter how technically capable they are, if you don't instinctively feel a sense of ease and comfort with that person, then this is probably a good sign that the person's not really the right person to work with. So think about your level of comfort and your confidence and how easy it is to be with this person, and select someone that you feel good about working with. The fourth guideline is the one that we consider the most important one of all, because without this, nothing else really matters. The other 3 are irrelevant. It has to do with integrity. Is this a total integrity person? Now, I realize you're making somewhat of a judgment if you haven't had a chance to work with the person, but if you do the research on the other 3, then you're liable to find out some things about the person's reputation, as well as, of course, your own conversations with the person, so you can make a judgment as to the character and integrity of the person. Real estate has a lot of decisions that you have to make in process, and in order to make really good decisions, you need accurate data and honest answers. You don't need someone who's going to give you answers to questions that they think you want to hear. What you really want, even when it's uncomfortable, is the unvarnished truth so that you can make your best judgment as to which way to go next. If you're working with someone whose integrity guarantees that they're only going to give you the straight scoop, you're much more likely to have a good end result. So try to make your best judgment, as well as collecting the data that you collect when you're doing your research, on whether or not you're dealing with a total integrity person. One obvious question from these guidelines is, how do you find this kind of person? Does it have to be a major research project? And it really doesn't have to be. With just a little extra effort, you can find the kind of person that we're talking about. You know, you start out with your own network, and when you start asking around other people whose judgment that you respect, you'll start to hear about the reputation of people in your area. And of course, that's a major source of insight. You can also find out a lot about the individual that you might be considering just by going to their internet site and checking out the quality of that site and other things that you can learn and infer just from looking at how they're running their business, at least to the extent that that internet site will give you some clues on that. Most importantly of all is the face-to-face interview that you have with that person. You want to spend a little time and try to make some judgments. We think all the better candidates that you will find will be open books. They'll welcome your questions. They'll want to be completely transparent and answer all of the concerns that you have. This is really not a time for you to have someone else learning at your expense. The biggest thing is to just put some serious time and effort into this. Have a goal to find a first-class quality real estate agent, and just know that there is a right person for you out there. Take time to get this one right, and all the other parts of the real estate process will start to fall into place.